skirt team consistently gunning down players, not overcommitting, but at least having a presence, keeping them in the back of their minds are their enemies. And what we see Suki, as you said, from Sleepy from a distance, and I know Seven is loving that one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wonder if it was that the straight shot or the explosion that got him though. I have to double check. We'll get the analysts on that one. Break it down the clip. That was kind of nuts though. You love to see it. Suk seems to be, you know, this proponent of
Legolas
of the bow and arrow. He loves it. Yeah, he loves it.
You know, it's funny, when I was doing my research coming into this, Seven specifically brought him up and said explosive arrows. Watch him with the bow. Let's watch order now as they go for the challenge onto Falcons. Rosemary has him pinned in between, and Rosemary is a guy I do not want on my backside. He is truly devastating. We've witnessed it just a little bit earlier on Hola Esports. Now he can do it on Falcons, but Order cooking the nade, throws it out. Is it good? Well, a little bit of damage on Narvalo. Redux will answer back with his own, but it doesn't have an area effect, and Redux is very weak. Order is taking on two members from Falcons and doing it in sensational fashion.
They have that back flank as well from Rosemary. Anita is beating Ralph and Redux both fall, one after the other. The fourth position and the middle spot for the Falcons both going down, and it looks like Weibo actually going to be able to break through this one with Narvalo falling. There's only one player now left standing, and Suk is on the hunt.
And I wonder if APG starts to get active in this fight too, because Doc is getting dangerously close. There's Order from a distance, try to take down Avila, but can't do it. He backs away for the meantime. Still a chance Falcons can maybe recover with the duo in this moment, but the pressure from Weibo is unrelenting. Koa, the tip of the spear, to try and maybe get a couple of shots onto Order. Again, you can't really go back because you got Alter Egos, who's going to be just behind you with Alpha. You also got Weibo starting to push in, and the attack is true, but Order will fall. Suk jumps out. Koa's going to be down. Can Suk pull off the hat trick?
It's Narvalo up against them. He can't clutch these. We've seen it before. And Weibo below. It's just Suk. And around the edge with a scar goes for the spray down, but the heel is there. And Narvalo now at a disadvantage. Takes the corner, takes the fight. And once more, Narvalo survives out in the edge of the zone, eliminating Weibo.
All right, the question is, can he get his teammate back into the fight? Where is his downed mate? Is it just behind him? You'd have to think so. There it is. That's going to be Koa. Getting Koa back in this fight would be huge. Meanwhile, APG starts to move in. Koa's been finished, and Narvalo once again has to take on the entirety of another roster. This time, a 1v4. Arethu's with that off angle. I think this is probably going to be the end. Plus, you got Alpha, who's going to be looking dead at you. Narvalo in dire straits. If he can somehow, some way survive and get into zone, it would be miraculous.
Spray down, Narvalo slams it into reverse, trying to pull, quick chase sled there, but actually it's APG who might have given him a lifeline. He's actually down and into the road gully.
And he's dipping, he's dodging, he's swerving and moving, he's going up top to get that member of Avila. No, he can't get the finish, and that's going to be okay. A valiant effort. I felt Falcons from the start to the finish never really truly had a home, never truly had a legitimate route to stay safe. They were putting a lot of pressure on teams, but they were never able to establish themselves in a specific area and play for late game. That's just the way it goes. Reckless, though, Yangon Galacticus is doing quite well. I expected him to be eliminated a little bit earlier on, but for APG, Alter Egos, let's see how this fight ends up unfolding. Alter Egos got to do it as a duo.
Moana and Krypton about to play off one another. The circle kind of shifted away from them right now. DRX are in the center. They're by that roadside. They've got a lot of pressure outwards. Not too many threats to be sent their way. Fireflux, they're kind of on a linear approach from the south side. Whilst they have all four players alive, they've managed to rack up 7 elims, sure, but they are right with their backs to the blue zone, and power marauding around them as well.
Jeez. Yo, Top, go off, my boy. That's 2 down from Thunder Talk. Outputting the damage tremendously. I say 2 down, 1 manages to get out with his life, but just with a sliver of hell. Jing down low. I don't know if it's going to happen. Reefus, this might be a nice nade. It's cooked well. It's thrown out. Doc just below, and he'll take off a sliver of health. Not much, but keeps the pressure on Zing. You know he doesn't feel comfortable in this moment. And for APG, on a tear. They're only on 4 eliminations, but at this rate, I don't know where they're going to end up.
A little bit more damage sent over to him, but the first aid was already ticking up. He will be healed. This is the regroup coming on through. A nice drop on the smoke there. Let's just go for the weapon spot, but the ammo's already low, but they get it. Nonetheless, over the driver as well. Sitting will be taken down, and now seeing continues to be under pressure. However, they can't breach this high ground just yet. With Ida over the way, there's so much going on in this northeast quadrant.
APG holding on tight. Mind you, still 4 strong. You mentioned Ida, they're going to be just up ahead, and they look to be progressing forward just a bit more. So for APG, it's imperative that they focus the fights correctly. And Aaron, most likely going to be the first one targeted as he all starts to move up towards that rock. Reefus down low, still trying to keep Thunder Talk in check on the low ground. I love where APG is currently at, and I have to favor them in this fight. But again, if they don't do this properly, Ida is going to eat them alive.
Darkin with the nade pulled over towards APG. Thinks better of it. Wait for someone to give some information away. So all 4 players alive on the northeast side. They continue their march here for Alpha Gaming. We have been hoping for more from this roster. They don't have some prestige. Reefus looks to start to pick up the pace here, but backed off the angle. They'll have to take another crack.
5 eliminations for APG. This could be a first place game. They could take the first place position. Alter Egos are already out. They're going to lose it. Yangdong Galacticus most likely has already passed them up. Scarface on your screen. Now Fireflux, again, a tremendous game. Nearly double digits already. 4 members still alive. They started early, and they have refused to slow down. They now start to challenge APG, but Reefus, he's deadly. That man has been hitting shot after shot, and 1 member from Fireflux is now down.
Zol able to find Madcap. An aid over towards Zol's position, and top is the trade-off here. Scarface forwards, does a lot of work against them, but will not win that trade. Gonna get flushed as well, almost certainly there. And have to fight on as 3 for Fireflux, but hang on a minute, no, because Madcap's down.
That's right.
He's all the way out on the flank. I think that res is coming through, though.
To see catch, but this is trying to keep APG at bay. Meanwhile, Ida has been there, but not really. You know, could they have taken advantage of this third party? Maybe, but they're well within zone. So the question is, really, can Thunder Talk even start to break in? APG, once this fight does end up concluding, if it does against Fireflux, who have managed to recover. You mentioned those revives. Well, now they're going to be a 4-man unit. And I like their chances a lot better in the moment APG starts to regroup.
Like Fireflux might be able to keep all 4 of their players alive as well. So 2 full force squads on the eastern side. Something also monumental could be happening. It's brewing, it's bubbling under right now. But Power Esports could be on their way to their first placement point. We've got 10 teams remaining. 2 more need to drop.
That is true. But according to they are at 0 eliminations. Winner chicken dinner with 0 elims to keep the narrative alive. Let's find out. Well, this is the first time we've seen them really get active this game as they tried to take over the high ground over Fireflux. We've watched Fireflux and APG go toe-to-toe with each other. Fireflux looked to be on their wits end, but they managed to get their teammates back up, and in fact, this secondary fight looks great. Scarface, let's do it, boy. Continue to push up, get that down so 1 comes in, but he's going to be traded out. Madcap, though, he's truly devastating, but APG answers back, but only for a matter of time before Catch says enough is enough. We're done fighting you. We're the winners.
Everybody turned to pulp on the northeast side of Verdan. Wants more points here with 9 teams remaining. If Fireflux go down now, Power will have earned their first placement point. It's only a matter of time. And a big nade from Ida to close it out. And that is a guaranteed placement point for Power. They're off the mark.
Darkin throws a beautiful nade, gets 3 from Fireflux and takes them out instantaneously. And now you got Power, who have been setting up quite nicely to gatekeep the winner from that engagement. In this case, happens to be ESPORTS, who now is focused on Thunder Talk, who stayed alive miraculously as a duo on the low ground. They took heavy losses, but they're giving it right back.
They stayed out of the fight for the time being, but now they want to try and wade back on in. King steps a little bit too close to the fire and does get burned, hits the deck just in time to avoid the spray down. And Thunder Talk keep the pressure on with Darkin falling. That's going to slow Ida down. Going to have to force that res out. Darkin got really in a safe spot with the blue zone pushing in 15 seconds. Not a lot of time to operate here.
Aaron thought about it. Do I go for the res? Do I go for the challenge? Well, Jing throws a nade. This could be 2, and it's close enough. Aaron takes some damage. Another one starts to go in, but it's going to be a little bit too far. And now for Aaron, really the last hope for Ida. Potentially another one to, I don't know, output some damage, but all eyes on Aaron in the moment. It is amazing. Thunder Talk has put up this much of a fight. They're towards the bottom. They desperately need points to elevate themselves towards the top 5 running, but 4 eliminations, their best game we have seen so far, and it could get even better.
Looks like Aaron will go down last. And Ida, very, very down on their luck. Now it's just Emre who was across the way, disengaged from that fight for the longest time. Finally, one of the power players gets taken away from this, and Easy on the forefront will need a little bit of a rescue mission from the rest of the team. Not going to be easy, and actually it's Ragnar who gets caught on the sidelines. So Easy able to find that shot, and DRX now starting to come alive here. They've been in this compound for the longest time, and they want to try and inflict pain now onto the rest of the circle, but Al-Haji is still on the hunt.
Yes, he is. For Ragnar's sake, though, I think he tried to get a little bit too fancy on the off angle, and it ended up being his undoing, and, well, he loses his life in the meantime. For Power, though, they look great. DRX is the only team, though, who is left alive with 4 members, but Power's positioning is great. They're hitting wonderful shots, but you gotta appreciate DRX able to utilize this low ground, this little divot. They're gonna be devastating. Power, it's gonna be hard to knock DRX off of this spot.
Yangon Galacticos as well on that northern side. Going to be difficult to navigate there. You've got solos on every single side of the circle, and right now the most dangerous one is probably Loxy on that southwest edge for Regnakaya.
I would say so. Loxy could be devastating. Say Cloud, though, hits a nice shot, and that's going to be 2 from Power, dropping off, and the chances of making it to top 3 to the podium now ends. But as you said it best, they do get some placement points, so there is a positive for Emery. He tried his best to stay alive, but DRX takes him out without any drama whatsoever. We're now down to our top 3.
Okay, this should be a free win for DRX right now. They've been able to hold this compound for so long. It's 2 solos, and neither of the solos are in this next circle. They've got control of the hillside. They're in overexposed positions. So Easy goes down, and that is going to be a nice pickup, actually.
Very nice.
I said there should be a free win. Hang on a minute. We're just getting word that I lied. I lied.
Well, let's see what ends up happening. The pickup might be able to come through. We mentioned Loxy as well, right? Ragnar Karya. He's going to be potentially devastating. And both players, right, from Yangon Galacticus as well as Loxy from Regnum Karya, they're going to be pincering in this DRX roster. Looks to be a beautiful nade. I believe it does connect just a little bit. Here comes DRX. Now, I don't want them to get too aggressive here. They now have 2 players down low, and on the overexposing yourself to say Cloud might be a reason why these solos could take a win.
Say Cloud has a brilliant sideswipe here, right? You can see that ridge line that rolls down the hill away from Hyunbin. That is what Say Cloud is playing on. So Hyunbin flexing down this way. I really like this idea. Loxy should be taken care of by the blue zone. That will just sort of conclude itself here.
Yep.
And Say Cloud, sure, he might have the sideline swipe, but the center of the circle is still under control for DRX, and they do manage to keep things together, right? It's not going to get too spicy out here in the open, and he will fall down. DRX closes down a little bit quiet on that one, but points are points are points, and they will take those 10 placements, add them to their tally, and they'll be up there with the rest of them at the top of the table.
Without a doubt, DRX, just like Power's been eliminating, right, getting all their elimination points, basically securing top 5 just off of that. DRX has done a phenomenal job with the placings. 4th place in game number 1, 10th place in 2nd. They fall down a little bit, but 2nd place in 3rd, or the 4th game, I should say, and then 3rd place in the 5th, and then of course 1st place coming out right before your eyes. Beautiful job from DRX, highly consistent in the podium category, and that's going to be incredibly valuable when we get to Smash Point on day number 3. DRX, so strong, so powerful, and finally able to get a win.
That was 4th in the 1st, 3rd in the 3rd, 2nd in the 4th, and a 1st in the 5th there for coming through from DRX. Hope you guys were following that. We certainly were here in the booth, but we are going to head to a quick break whilst we get ready for our final Miramar of the day. Don't go anywhere.
Dear PUBG Mobile fans, we are delighted to invite you to the 2025 PUBG Mobile World Cup at the ESPORTS WORLD CUP in Riyadh, KSA. This exciting event will take place from July 25th to August 3rd at the Boulevard City. We've prepared tons of event perks, such as the PMWC avatar frame, eSports Passion set, eSports Passion parachute, and tons more items. Let's check out how you can get all these rewards. During the tournament, go to the Pandora event page via Lobby, Event Center, eSports to join the event. Mormon from SEA, Top from CSA, Pedrinho from the Americas, Silas from the EU, and Prestige from MENA will guide you through the 5 major parts of the event. They consist of tournament celebration, prediction rewards, esports shop, themed outfit, and champion challenge. Join these activities to earn rewards and collect esports tokens to redeem even more gifts in the esports shop. The more esports tokens you collect, the better rewards you'll get. You can get up to 2,870 esports tokens from the prediction event. It takes place from July 23rd to August 5th and consists of 3 stages that coincide with the tournament: group stage, survival stage, and grand finals. During the group stage, get 20 esports tokens by predicting the 8 teams you think will advance directly to the grand finals. Each correct prediction will grant you an additional 60 tokens. Make a total of 3, 6, and 8 correct predictions to get 300, 680, and 720 tokens, respectively. You'll get another chance during the survival stage to guess the other 8 teams that will make it to the grand finals. The rewards are the same as the group stage. During the grand finals, you must try and predict the ultimate champion. Just predicting will grant 30 tokens, and a correct prediction will grant 400 tokens. If you're unsure about your predictions, you can let your friends' predictions guide you. Find someone reliable, copy their predictions, and wait to be rewarded. The 3 prediction rounds take place on July 27th, July 30th, and August 3rd at 10:45 UTC 0. Rewards are issued the second day after each stage ends at 4 AM UTC 0. You'll receive esports tokens based on your prediction results. Note, esports tokens don't expire and can be used in future esports events. Who do you think will be the ultimate champion? Join the 2025 PMWC event and share your predictions. Invite your friends to join the predictions and watch the tournament unfold.
هدي حاول ترجع حاول اصلا ينزل هاي الطريق فنان دمجت
Let's go.
Come back. From the right, come in.
Close.
I have no bullets.
Behind the buggy.
I'm low. I have no bullets.
He might smoke me. Put him behind.
Nice.
Player 456 would be proud because our South Korean overlords are back for a win. Yes! DRX holding down a compound. It was quite easy for them, actually. Joining me, we have Neptura as well as Maxman to talk about this one. Kind of came their way. They kind of did well. Hooray.
They had compound. It was in circle. They outlive every team, they get the win. What an impressive chicken dinner. Wow. No, it was a pretty streamlined win, okay, coming in from DRX. Unlike Nocturne Red Force, though, they don't throw the match, which I can appreciate. No, there's actually a few things they did do really well this game. They were using the southern and eastern ridges very efficiently, and because off the back of that, they were able to actually hold teams away. Though, yes, Kalash, they didn't get a lot of limbs because they're just staying hidden in the middle, just like, don't fight us, please.
You know why they were able to keep teams away so long, though, Matt?
How?
How? I will tell you. because of the quality of the angles that they took. And what I mean by that is that they took angles that had the most amount of information against other teams with the least amount of risk from those same teams. So they were able to hold on to their full squad very effectively while not necessarily getting the eliminations like we see here, only 5, right? But they were just able to hold those teams off onto the edge, let everybody else get eliminated, and take the win.
But Fireflux taking a little bit of inspiration from Power. It's 0 placement points and 11 eliminations. This match, that's going to be able to catch up a little bit in the leaderboards, going on to the second page. So quite a few bubbles from horror. Okay, I should not have looked down there.
You've caused problems, Max.
I turned off my phone.
It's weird, I wonder why. But yes, I mean, at the same time, when you look at the elims coming in from all of these teams, right, it's a very technically open area, especially if you account for the fact that there is that big cliffside north of that road as well. So kind of a lot of these positions, Neptune, are kind of covering each other on the middle side, because you're expecting all of these teams to kind of fight over you, and that's what we saw a lot of in this game, and you can kind of exist within the middle.
Yeah, it's a big thing that happens in a lot of games. If you can find that dip, it's super risky because the minute a team actually comes up over that ridge, you are gone. But as long as there's a couple of teams all around you, you are able to survive a lot.
Hey, Alpha Gaming able to get himself over 2,000 damage this game, 6 eliminations, going into Fireflux. We already looked at their 11 eliminations, so a very good presence from these teams. One team I'm not seeing here, that could have been here, is Alter Ego. We talked a little bit actually during this game here, while it was happening in the green room, how they had a really good position early on, and they tried to just overextend their control on the map. They had not just a 2-2 split, it was a 4-man split. Everyone was like around 100 to 150 meters away from each other, meaning that if the team gets remotely close to you, you're going to lose that player.
Very reminiscent of the split that they had on Sandhawk, but hey, guess what? Sandhawk and Miramar are very different maps, Neptune, right? So it's difficult to maintain this when everybody can kind of see you on the cliffsides elsewhere.
Yeah, a big split on Sandhawk and a big split on Miramar are two very different things, just because it's such a vast area that you have on Miramar. You did have that one player, which one was it, Max? There was a really...
Alva at the north?
Alva, yeah, it was Alva, up on that
There was a
cliffside.
valley between him and
There
his
was a
team,
whole
right?
valley, and you understand why. It's like, oh, that's an awesome off angle onto all the chaos that was happening with Thunder Talk and everybody, but it didn't work.
They seem like they're having fun still, though, here for PMWC Grand Finals, which, okay, cool, sure, but you've still got to be able to have your foot on the pedal here, Max. If you're them getting together a little bit quicker, you feel like that's probably the play to deal with
I think so. It was so weird because you had two teams getting really close to their position. You had Ida and you had Fireflux, and it's not just they're walking around and Dips being very silent. They have cars, and even then, Ultra Ego made the active decision that no, we are going to remain split. We don't want to regroup. We just want to keep control. Unfortunately, to have control, you need to have the numbers, and in this case, Ultra Ego did not have the numbers to take those fights.
Definitely so, definitely so. All right, well, before we get into our last game, it's time for everybody's favorite segment of the day. Max Man's Grenade of the Day.
You know it, you love it. It's Maxman's Grenade of the Day, back at it once again. And this time around, we're going back on over to Erangel, his military island, with actually a very good day coming on through onto Thunder Talk, right onto the driving car. There are two passengers. He knew observation hacky unlocked just like in One Piece, and he knew where they were going to be and gets a nice double elimination. Really good play here at our esports.
What did you say?
Huh?
One Piece.
What? Yeah, well, you said something about before that about One Piece.
Observation hacky, because like you can read into the future.
Right, is that... Anyway.
I literally got your coffee because you said you liked the French earlier.
Oh, you did? Well, they've not shown you on screen.
Oh,
so
that was unfortunate. It's on the desk, okay, I promise. It's there.
Thanks, I needed that. Also, you picked a serious nade. I'm impressed. Well done. Thank you for that. That was great.
Yeah, Maxman's nade of the day can be all good or bad. Can be the two extremes.
You never know.
Whoa.
It's a mystery. What will happen tomorrow? Find out tomorrow. But it is time to go to the casters for the final game of the day. It's Miramar.
Thank you very much, guys, over on the desk. Of course, we're going to be shifting into, what is it, like Gear 5 or something? I don't know. That's
10, baby. We're going to 10.
That's a One Piece reference for Maxman specifically. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm sure he enjoyed it greatly. As we are going to be heading on into the last match today. It is match number 6. It is Miramar. It's the desert. It's getting hot. It's getting spicy. Hopefully our teams can keep up and keep the sweat off their brow, because they are going to need to remain cool, calm, and more
collected. Let's get get it going. Game number 6, the final game of day number 1, the final chance to elevate yourself up into the top 5 to truly contest for the final championship run. Who's it gonna be? Well, we're gonna find out on day number 3. Now, last Miramar was exciting. A lot of great rotations, and honestly, even the solos playing towards the end, in my opinion, were putting up a wonderful fight that could have very well dismantled the team of DRX. Shingon Galactica's team that's been performing highly well today. The fact that they made it through into top 2 is great because I believe they were a duo for the longest time. So good on them. Shingon Galactica's performing so well, but DRX taking the cake when it comes to, I believe, our most consistent team podium in I believe, what, 3 out of the 5 games we've had so far.
It's a pretty difficult record to beat. DRX, I mean, getting that chicken dinner in the 5th match, it's kind of nutty. That's why they're on the top of the pile right now, maintaining that consistency. Not as loud as other teams, looking at you, Power. But either way, they have managed to keep up that record. And 46 points on 5 matches is a very solid result, right? It's 4 points shy of that 10-point average that we always talk about when it comes to teams in that first place spot. If you're above 10 points, if you're around that 10-point average, you are in the contest for that first place spot on the lobby. The plane path from Puerto Paraiso up towards El Pozo a lot kinder than the first time around Miramar today. That was a heavy south plane cut. This time around, it's going to be a little bit more relaxed for our teams to get on their way. So potentially no hot drop or at least no pursuit over towards the Falcons on this one for El Pozo.
Well, we'll find out, right? Falcons did have quite a few teams around them, and it was Hola and Falcons who ended up kind of, tussling with each other. But we'll see if that ends up happening this time around. And let's not forget Shingon Galactica's also coming up behind them. It was kind of contested towards El Pozo. Might see the same thing here as, well, Smile tends to drop out, and I think he's going to take over that southern portion. It took a little bit of time before they finally ended up in contention with Hola as well as Falcons up there towards El Pozo. But it's a mad dash for the vehicles, and that's where you start seeing the heavy points of contention, especially between Hola and Falcons, who are very close to each other already as they glide through the air.
North side circle pops as the plane exits our screen. Tokyo Drift style in the 45 degrees, as we are going to be heading up again to a more northern area. So this time it's going to be a little bit more west than we had last time around. La Cobreria, greater fields, that area around water treatment, all of those hills will be in play. Team's going to have to figure out how to make their way north, not least of which is DRX, who are the most south team right now over towards Puerto Paraiso. Hopefully they can find another podium because they've already got 4 of them. Why not get another?
Why not? Get another one, 4 out of the 6. That would be huge for them. And again, Smash Point, day 3. We look at DRX to potentially be the ones to close it out if they could be number 1 setting the point threshold. For DRX, this is going to be a tough going for them. They've got to go all the way up north, as you said. That means passing Team Secret, potentially Alter Egos. You got E-Arena, maybe running into Thunder Talk, Fireflux. They might take a long rotate towards the shoreline and go all the way up towards north. That might be their best line of attack. For Hola, well, they go a bit more north this time around than they did last time, because you remember they were south of Falcons, ended up pursuing them into El Pozo. This time, Hola changed up their landing spot, and they're going to be just above them, which is going to be great for them. So much real estate that they can utilize, and Hola need a good game here. They're, again, towards the bottom, but setting themselves up nicely for day 2 would be a tremendous win on game 6, and the possibility is here.
Galacticos gathering vehicles, getting a little bit of loot on board. They've still yet to fully go for this loot phase. They're going to head south down towards Baidemar and play this one in a little bit later on. They love seeing the blue zone, right? They absolutely love it. The Yangon Galacticos. As soon as they see that blue zone coming, they're heading straight towards it. So they will be very chill about surviving out in this area. A likely west road rotate, so expect to see them heading up towards La Cobreria around minute 8. I think that's where we'll see them up towards that north side. So potential conflict with Hola and Falcons on the west edge.
That's right, and I think that's going to be a pretty big narrative throughout not only today in our game number 6, but going into day 2 and day 3 of our grand finals. I am excited to watch APG potentially clash with Regnum Caria. 2 aggressive rosters. With the way APG was challenging fights in our previous game in Map 5 Miramar. Got me excited for the prospect of what their aggression is going to hold in this final game, game number 6. They're going to have to go up north. Regnum Karya might choose to gatekeep them. Let's not forget 4 Thrives. I know, haven't seen too much from them today, but another roster that showed incredible aggression and good ability to hold and control fights during the group play stages. They're also going to be in that vicinity. So APG, Regnum Karya, 4 Thrives potentially clashing maybe a little bit later.
Have to wait and see what their path will hold for them. Looks like Regnum Karya on the road faster than APG, and it might be 4 Thrives that does in fact come into conflict with them. As always, it's a question of which path they take towards this circle. Fighting this early, you don't really want to get stuck down in it, right? You don't want to get bogged down early. Going down within that first phase is really detrimental to your overall tournament performances, and I wouldn't be too surprised to see them wait their turn, right, in this scenario. Wait for teams to push it behind them and get a little bit more drawn back, I think it's safe to say, from those engagements. I'm looking around the map right now. I'm seeing DRX leaving Puerto Paraiso. They've headed up past Impala on the east side right now, and they are trying to slot themselves in over towards El Azahar, potentially all the way up towards Cruz del Valle, and we'll see if they can make their way on up to the podium once more. There's not too many teams that are going to contest them on that.
Yeah, no surprise, DRX, that was their safest rotation. That's exactly what they ended up doing, going across that shoreline and going up most likely towards the north above. Maybe Alter Egos, maybe even a little bit further on towards maybe the northern portion of where Weibo is currently at. For 4 Thrives, full send it straight in. They're going to be very close to Noxian Red Force. In fact, Benny already throwing out some nades, and Naki's taking damage.
Naki does answer though with a nade of his own. Unfortunately, it's in through the window and he's up on the high ground there. A nade up high, and they do think he's on the inside of this one. Benny could potentially catch them unawares. The Molotov, they think they're burning him out of position, but he's got IQ on lockdown right now. Steps up and misses. Now they'll know he's up on high. Naki now with a chance to turn things around, but more nades are cooking. This is the last one in the pocket from Beanie, and IQ has to dodge it. Will be able to survive. XZY on the off angle, doesn't quite connect on it either. To Noxian Red Force, not really getting too much with the opening salvo. That one's good though, and a chance now for Noxian to take this thing to control.
T24 on the ground alongside that of Phallic. You've got to appreciate the high ground from Benny. He's not going to relinquish that. He's going to be truly the linchpin into success, at least I assume, in this fight, in this engagement. IQ's down and out. No way he's going to get back up, and in fact, he's going to be fully finished off. 4 Thrives, to one good thing they do have going for them is they have Wolfpack together. So any players from Noxian Red Force, if they push it as a solo, you'd have to assume you're going to be shot by 3 people at the same exact time. T24 Phallic gotta hold the low ground though. XCY pushing in. Tizzy starting to also get active. T24 takes some damage. In fact, outputs some damage on Tizzy. Doc going in. T24 down. Benny drops out from his high ground, takes a little bit of damage, but through the smoke, hits the shot needed to drop Naki. 4 Thrives are out.
Once more, 4 Thrives fall. The Noxian Red Force keeping all 4 of their players alive there. It got a little bit hairy with T24 doing so much work on the low ground, but they do manage to survive as 4, which is huge news for them. In the meantime, Alter Ego losing a player. Team Secret able to take control of the compound here to the west of Cruz del Valle on the north side of that circle. Potential conflict for them with DRX in the next few minutes, but for now, Alter Ego busted down to 3.
Alter Egos, a good day today so far. Love to finish off with the 3 stack. Performing well, Wild hitting great shots. Fireflux, who had a tremendous game number 5. Looking to do a little bit of a better job here. Regnum Karya also up ahead. You notice every single team minus APG is just directly sent it straight into the center of this zone. They want those buildings. They want the hard cover, and that's why 4 Thrives was so antsy to get in and challenge Noxian Red Force. It doesn't pay off, but you get the idea. So Regnum Karya, Fireflux now, they want to take over this spot if they can get it, but it's not going to be easy.
Over at San Martin, they're going to have to fight for their way out here. Circle coming on in very, very soon. Alter Ego actually potentially under threat now for DRX. I said around minute 8 for Yangon Galacticos. That has now passed.
Look at that.
It's been a hard northeast shift. They're going to have to go a long, long way. I don't think they're going to see this circle until about minute 10. This could actually start to get a bit hairy on the west side for Yangon Galacticos. They might need to cut an earlier rotation, maybe potentially through Monte Nuevo, unless they want to get really, really down to the wire with this one. It's not looking super healthy. DRX, they suffer the most on the northeast side. They try pushing past Alter Ego. It's gone poorly.
I was hoping Fireflux would take advantage of the zone shift and get ahead of Regnum Karia, who managed to get a knock onto one of the Fireflux members. Naturally, they're going to be back up. But Regnum Karia, head on a swivel, decides to full send it in, staying ahead of Fireflux, making sure that if engagement does happen, they're going to be the tip of the spears in that fight. Thundertalk King's going to knock down one from Alter Egos. Moana is going to fall, leaving Alter Egos with just one.
Both of those two teams on the northeast side have dropped players. Two are remaining for DRX. They do manage to get through, but they're only playing as a duo. Alter Ego try and move in as well, but all under the watchful eyes of Thundertalk, who have only been able to extract 2 points from it, but they've opened up the east side nicely for themselves to stay alive for a lot longer. E-Arena to their south shouldn't pose too much of a worry for them. The hillsides will keep them safe. Take a look at the replay. Okay, little spin out in the open, catches the rear tire, a nice little pickup valve.
And Alba will be the last one alive for Alter Ego. So if he can pull off shots like that, even as a solo, he can be truly devastating to the complete rosters who are 3 and 4 stacks outside of DRX, right? Everybody else has 3 or 4 members. Falcons does have a down player, and I don't know if it was due to, well, actually it might be because of Hola, who has started to move in. Hola and Falcons, even off the start of the last game, and then of course going into this game, you knew they were going to have a clash at some point. And at a certain moment, Falcons or Hola have to put their foot down and establish dominance over this engagement and rotation to force a change for the other roster. Team Secret also moving in.
Nade over the top, this could be good. Onto Ralph, does manage to blast him out of the buggy. Redox hopping in, repositioning it, getting a little bit more cover down the hill. They drop to smoke almost immediately, and the Falcons scrambling to pick this one back up. I don't think they're going to be able to commit to get Ralph back. There's too many off angles to contend with. Redox in the front of the buggy. His teammates keeping him safe though. An over-aggressive push from Team Secret drops them a player, but again, it's those off angles coming on in, and it's Sleepy to catch Redox sleeping.
Yes, Sleepy has been a nuisance. A nuisance from a distance. Zera's cut out in the open. Sky takes him out. Hola potentially profiting off of this third party in a big, big way. They're already at 2 eliminations. They continue to push up to pressure and potentially get the full finishes on Team Secret.
Where are Yangon Galacticos? They should be in this fight right now.
In the blue
We're
zone.
going up and towards the 12th minute, and they have yet to enter this circle. It's going to get a little bit too hard to overheal this one, and again, they're on the far side of things. You can see them all the way out onto the west, and they could really have an impact here if they crash into the back of Hola.
Team Falcons just trying to stay alive. Just a duo. They're out of there. Koa and Narvalo managed to find a little bit of respite in the hard cover. But meanwhile, for Hola and Team Secret, Hola has done so much damage on the Team Secret roster that you have to favor them in this moment. And while they continue to push up, they refuse to bow the knee. And for Drake, he's going to go ahead and join Frankie up ahead as Team Secret start to recover just a little bit, but only just.
Unwedging the vehicle there, it looks like. They will keep themselves nice and mobile. Team Secret on the northwest side. Hola going to try and push on through. Weibo, with all 4 players alive, playing on the southwest side right now. East edge of water treatment as well. A nice ridgeline under control. Power, they're a little bit more central. They are under the watchful eyes of Weibo, but they don't have to move. They will be able to chill out for the time being. You know how much they like to get stuck in though, so maybe things can get a little bit hot.
Well, I just love the fact that they're as central as they are. So the next stage most likely still going to favor that of power, which is going to be interesting because Yangon Galacticos finally get out of the blue zone after, what, the 14th minute, start to move in towards water treatment. You got Fireflux, Weibo, who's still in the area. You've got plenty of teams. Power might potentially be able to gatekeep. This might be a tremendous game for Power depending on how they choose to play it.
My eyes are on E-Arena right now, and so is the camera, luckily, because they have severely underperformed expectations.
Without a doubt.
Coming through from the survival stages, they were looking good, they were looking powerful. I mean, obviously, you've got a couple of standout players. I think Norman is probably a very notable player on the roster of E-Arena. They have been in disarray so far today. So to close out day 1 with a strong game, I think would be necessary for them to either be in the conversation for the front page, potentially.
I agree, yeah.
At this stage, though, they are going to have to hold their nerve against IDA, against APG, against against Nongshim Red Force. I think they've got the chops, but the question is, can they deliver today when they've been so weak up until now?
APG's getting dangerously close to E-Arena. They're fully committing for this fight. They can back off if they want to, but you gotta fight this quickly. And E-Arena, as they reposition, go straight into a couple from Ida. Like you mentioned, Nongshim Red Force is going to be coming in from the south portion, still in blue, but eventually they will be up in this fight as well. So if you're APG, you don't want to get pincered between not only Nongshim Red Force, but also E-Arena. If you're E-Arena, you're still in a decent spot. Stay ahead of your competition so you can gatekeep them.
Take a look at the circle yet again. It's going to come through very, very quickly. Last player for Ultra Ego, rotating out to the east, trying to move away as a solo. The circle comes on through, and it's very central. It's the teams on the outside that are going to get cut through here. Yangon Galacticos, I think, have one of the most difficult maneuvers to make. They are sitting currently around water treatment, trying to push past Weibo, who are giving ground. They're regrouping on the southwest, to be fair to them. So maybe a little opening for Yangon Galacticos to push on up. In the meantime, over towards the arena, they are managing to do a little bit of damage.
APG starts to get active onto Nongshim Red Force, a team that was in blue for a long time. Not as long as Yangon Galacticos, but still a long time nonetheless. They finally get into the zone, straight into the damage of Rifus, who is mowing down players and can't get the full finishes, but at least taking those valuable hills away from the team of Nongshim Red Force. I did notice Power started to fire some shots, I believe, on Weibo, just up ahead as well. So a lot of fights going down. APG, in my opinion, has the advantage of Nongshim Red Force, who has to continually push up, and Rifus is unrelenting with the shots.
Yeah, they've got the high ground on them. It's going to be a question of getting picks, but they're just not being found. And Nongshim Red Force are starting to fall. They're starting to wane on the east side. Fireflux getting involved on this flank. It's mad dashes now. There's really nothing you can do. You just have to try and sneak your way through, find a little window of something, but it's so difficult to make it work. Doc's up into the building, but I don't think it's going to last too long. They have him on the ground floor. They've got him locked in. And APG can keep this one going. I think the biggest question mark in this spot is what are Fireflux going to do?
Yes, absolutely. Fireflux has already managed to get a couple of downs on Nongshim Red Force, but E-Arena has also backed up. On board with Doc. Doc holds his ground from Nongshim Red Force. They're not done just yet. You still have, I believe, one more player remaining, but very low health. And in fact, he's going to be finished off. Now, Terry, he's down. You mentioned what would Fireflux do? Well, they choose to challenge the forward members of E-Arena who pushed out of their hard cover, mind you, getting overly aggressive and now getting potentially punished.
Fireflux, pretty nasty with the nades. The ordnance is on point, and on the south side, they are opening the door to push on in. Maybe even move through their reses as well. They've got Solus down. I think that's already getting picked back on up. And E-Arena, they're blasted down to 2. No elims on this fight. They had a hold onto a 3-way engagement, and they have not got any value for it. It's not looking good.
I just don't understand why they felt the need to send 2 players forward. Maybe they were expecting to have a bit more of an off angle with the third party, but Fireflux is ready for them and gunned them down. Good utility on the nades as well. E-Arena, in my opinion, waste a tremendous opportunity. They had the setup. They're well within the zone. Fireflux, APG, once these fights conclude, are pushing directly into you. There was no reason to send 2 players up ahead, but they did it anyways. And now Joker and Mormon have to go at it alone.
After a big elim game last time around, Fireflux looking to try and convert. They've already posted 6. Sure, they've lost a player, but they will be able to march on forwards. You'd imagine that they're going to try and crash onto the E-Arena position, or maybe not crash, but walk up to at least. However, as 3 players, that's going to be a lot harder than it would have been as 4. APG do have the numbers, but they are trapped on the far side of the road. It's going to be a lot harder for them to get across unscathed.
And I do wonder about Order, who's kind of being a little bit weird hanging out off in the distance. You know, a couple of shots could put a team in disarray. Sleepy challenging that at Team Secret. Hora and Team Secret have been opposite of each other for quite some time. They've managed to get a lot of damage and even at times a couple of knocks, but they both managed to get back up, and they're going to be both 4 stacks challenging each other straight ahead. For Yangon Galacticos, 2 members that might be able to fire onto Jaiki depending, but for Xeris, well, he's going to be up ahead looking to take down Hora. Let's see who wins the engagement.
Team Secret committing up towards Hora as they rotate away from the outpost of Yangon Galacticos. 4 positions for Team Secret, not quite getting the angles just yet. Thundertalker off in the distance as well. Could be a little bit of crunch on towards Hora. Romeo's been spotted, no fear. Able to tap him away, back him off the angle. I think Thundertalk want to get involved here. They're starting to flex their muscles and they do need to leave.
Still have Alva as a solo. not going to have an effect as of yet, but Alpha, he's been devastating. We witnessed him take down 2 members, I believe, of another roster just a little bit earlier, but now he's going to be going dead center. So he won't have an impact here, but you're right, for Thunder Talk. Now, Hola is pincered. Team Secret on one end, on the other is Thunder Talk. Hola in dire straits, and they have to make a choice. Who do they challenge? But whoever they end up going for, they've got to finish them quickly because they have to expect the team behind them to push up.
As the shots coming through from the off angle, over the way, Team Secret making things hard, but Drakey actually gets spotted and pinked out by No Fear. Take a little bit of cover. Yangon Galacticos still have their duo from the distance, but that's going to slow Team Secret down. That's right. It's actually going to push them away from this spot as well.
Well, in all honesty, it helps Team Secret because those shots that were coming out from Hola, I believe, was going to melt that buggy if it wasn't for Yangon Galacticos keeping that player down from Team Hola. So Team Secret forced to park the bus once again, and well, they're in a little bit of a tricky spot, aren't they? They've got No Fear gunning them down. Yangon Galacticos also looking down into the ravine. Team Secret, I don't think they make it out.
Back on the southeast side, it looks like E-Arena going to get pushed, going to get taken low, and they may have got some nades on in, and Scarface actually getting flushed. So, another point added at least for E-Arena. Fireflux in pretty dire straits. E-Arena may be winning this hold on the southeast side as Fireflux are eliminated. But with only one more player left standing, it is Mormon, but E-Arena can hold their heads high for the time being.
Yeah, and it's Order who's still from Weibo Gaming who's going to be hanging out on the outskirts, and I do wonder if he's going to get the final finish onto the solo. Mormon Souk starts to move in, so Mormon, he's going to be in a 1v2. Meanwhile, once again, Team Secret surprisingly and miraculously able to recover. I surely thought they were going to be finished off, but they're not. They managed to stand up, but they're still in dire straits in a very, very difficult spot between Hola and Yangon Galacticos. Once again, for Team Secret, I just don't know how they're going to get out of this situation.
Thunder Talk did not engage onto Hola in that scenario. On the north side, Thunder Talk instead opted to push a little bit further south, potentially towards Alva, the solo for Alter Ego. But instead, they just allowed Hola to move on up towards Yangon Galacticos and take a free aggression push for them. This Team Secret try and play on the other side of it. Caught in the middle. Smile goes down first, though, on the far side of this engagement.
Yeah, well done from Jiggle. Catches the head and takes him out through the window. You mentioned Thunder Talk not choosing to crash in. Well, they do so, and Hola reads it out, and you're going to have 2 players, Sky and No Fear, who's going to try and hold Thunder Talk at bay. AJ down to a sliver of health, but managed to recover quite nicely. The only concern I have for Hola is they are split up 2-2. One focus on Team Secret as well as Yangon Galacticos, the other purely focused on Thunder Talk, and Thunder Talk is going to manage to take down No Fear. Sleepy is going to get taken out by Team Secret, and an aggressive push from Drang, who takes down the Shed players, and all of a sudden, the tides will turn, and Hola, in dire straits, is only one more player is alive.
Having a real tough time of it. They need to commit to this res. Thunder Talk can put pressure onto the east side beautifully. Like you mentioned, they rolled up nice and quickly. They finally took that opportunity to go on in. Sky launching those nade forwards. Actually, a lot of Thunder Talk are close by to one another. As APG finding Falcons as well in the middle, on the east side rather than the Falcons will fall. They'll be eliminated down in 12th place there. 11 of our teams remain. Yangon Galacticos, they've just been holding on that western side. They've been very, very chill, very relaxed on these engagements. They haven't managed to chime in. They got 1 elim, and they are forcing other teams to fight off against one another, allowing them to do the dirty work for them. But now they're going to have to turn their attention to Great Fire, who are on a split.
No Fear, can he stand up? He's on fire, and he will eventually be dropped, and Hola is gone. I got a question. If they don't go for the 2-2 split, do they survive? If they're not focused on 3 teams simultaneously, would they have better luck? Well, we'll never know, unfortunately. For Yangon Galacticos finally pushing into the aggressive Ragnum Karya, who are getting taken down, running on fumes. 2 players down and out. Ragnum Karya most likely going to be finished off in this moment. Only 1 player remains, and I don't see him currently. Actually, it's going to be Wild way off in the distance, so he's going to be a solo for the remainder of this game.
Yangon Galacticos can keep up pace now. They have 2 elims on the scorecard, and they will be 4 players alive after this res. Loxy will be flushed fairly soon, so a couple more points to be added to their tally in just a moment. Close by to DRX's duo. Up on the north side of this one, on the south edge, it's still Power. With 4 players alive, they're going to try and navigate their way on in around Weibo, who also have 4 players alive, but sending the buggy to the air, don't need that anymore, throws it aside, and instead they're going to take to the rubber sole or the boot and see if they can take the shot towards Weibo.
You go back to the last game, Ragnar was trying to get these crazy off angles. He ends up getting punished this time around, not making that same mistake. He sticks with the full force unit of Power. Great shots from Easy, but better shots from Order from a distance.
Able to shut down that hilltop, and this is go signal. They're going to crash straight on into this. Nice and aggressive, decisive play from Weibo. They're trying to encircle now the rest of Power. They know their backline's going to be fumbling, going to be faltering a little bit. We'll see if they can take control of it. 33Z, maybe a little bit overinvested here, as Weibo trying to connect onto Power. Will finally be able to find that second knock, and they can continue to run this one through. Suk is down, but this should be resible. Fadan doesn't have the pace on this.
Fadan, he throws bounces off the wall, manages to get away without burning himself. Fadan pushing up onto he. Now he needs to get here quickly. If he can get the finish before the res is in, it's going to be a 1v1, but the res will come through. You'd have to assume very quickly he refuses to commit, playing it safe, but maybe playing it a bit too safe, and now Weibo able to recover.
Teams are starting to drop like flies. We're down to 8 now, and I'm sure there's a couple more ready and waiting to go. There's a lot of solos still playing on into this one. Weibo playing 2v1 on the inside. Fadan is the last player to stand here for Power Esports. They've got 1 elim, and again, they are guaranteed a placement here with 8 teams remaining. We'll see how much further they can go. The pump action, not going to be good enough. The DBS wins the day, and Weibo can stay up as 4 players.
There's value in playing passive, and what Fadan did wasn't necessarily wrong. However, you know you're last alive. Fully commit. There's it down in front of you. It's a 1v1. Swinging that choke point, swinging that angle is tough. I understand, but you just got to go for it. And if he would have, of course, he doesn't have X-ray vision, but if he would have, he most likely would have got the cleanup and been successful in that fight. And I can even say the same thing going to now Red Force side of things with Benny. A little bit earlier in the day, there was a moment where I felt he needed to get aggressive, but he was just too undecisive, and because of that undecisiveness, he gets taken down. So there is power in being aggressive and full sending it, but he made the play that he made. Again, it wasn't necessarily wrong, but if he would have been aggressive, he most likely would have been able to win that fight and potentially even get the last remaining member up.
Alpha could really go some distance in this match, with APG putting pressure over towards DRX, the last remaining player for Alter Ego, could sneak through the cracks potentially. Could be a bit of a wild card on that east side flank. Weibo playing as 4, they're all the way on the other side, on the southwest. Yango Galacticos, they're behind APG's engagement on the north side, so not really too many massive threats on the east edge. Alpha actually going to get some fly crate looted up as well, as Order, oh no, spotted. Weibo losing an off angle there, very, very isolated from the rest of the roster, gets caught unawares.
Still not a bad spot, though, for Weibo. Keeping Yangon Galacticus in check. APG, great spot overlooking DRX and Team Secret, which, let's highlight them, right? Team Secret, even though they only have a solo last alive, they did such a great job dismantling Horda a little bit earlier, 4 eliminations going their way, and the solo, Trey staying up, is just huge, in my opinion. They should not be alive in this moment. They should not be fighting for a potential top 3 finish, but APG forced to go forward, and now DRX, who were being hunted down from APG, now could potentially gatekeep them. If they play this right, they could win this fight, but it's not going to be easy because they don't have the man advantage.
Kieran would take a very, very low with a nade, cooked nicely. Just to get the knock, but they'll know there's a player on the inside there now. An APG with 4 players are wary of their south edge, but I don't imagine they expect Alva to be on this loot crate right now. Just trying to stay alive for Alter Ego. APG very reluctant actually to push all the way through this one.
It's tough. It's tough for DRX, I mean, because you know DRX is right in front, and they've got a great spot. Alva, I wonder if he gets a bit mixy. He's stayed alive for the longest time, and he's going to be able to take a peek over at Doc if he chooses to fire, but I think for him, he just wants to keep his head low and just go for top 3 if he possibly can. Aaron from ETA is going to be fully finished off. That'll be ETA out in 6th place. We're now down to our top 5. Things are starting to get spicy. APG on the move. DRX need to be ready.
Hyunbin first to face. Finally, Alva is dispatched, and that's going to open up the flank there. With top going down, looks like they want to commit for this res. Potentially very, very dangerous out in the open. I don't think you want to make this one work. So easy now with the SKS or the red dot. Okay, a little bit lackluster on the weaponry there potentially for So Easy. Only has his teammate Hyunbin there. Crawling away. They could look for this res, but I think Yangon Galacticos aren't going to allow that one to happen.
Soez could truly help Yangon Galacticos in this moment, who are starting to come in. They're starting to close the vice grip, and if Soez can take any members from APG down, that's only going to help the win for the side of Yangon Galacticos. Soez will not be successful. Doc will win the fight, and it will be APG with a 4-man unit against a 4-man unit of Yangon Galacticos. Meanwhile, for Weibo, most likely getting finished off very, very shortly. You got one player who's going to be down. Yangon Galacticos going full send to victory.
They want this top spot to close out day 1. 2 players fall at their feet. A smile just about threading the bullets either side of him, able to dodge them, and Sjol goes down next. A spray down over towards Doc, and that is going to be it. It's curtains for Alpha Gaming. 3rd place in a pretty brutal fashion on the northeast side now. 2 players, sorry, just 1 player from Weibo to stand in the way of Yangon Galacticos. They will be up and over 60 points on the match. A beautiful result for them. Their day has been stellar. DRX as well, up and towards that podium again. Some really consistent performances at the top. They are going blow for blow.
Without a doubt, 4 out of their 6 games, they get top 3. A huge performance from DRX, who managed to take over 1st place, but only for a sliver of time. Yangon Galacticos most likely taking it over with that tremendous win. And, well, Yangon Galacticos, mind you, managed to get 1st place 2 times throughout our 6 games. Of course, game number 6 as well as game 2. We've been waiting for Yangon Galacticos to step it up, to finally wake up. I think they finally have.
This is brilliant stuff from Yangon Galacticos. They looked cool, calm, collected. Dropping the shoulder, dropping the elbow, sinking the fist into the rib cage. It is nasty to come up against these guys in an all-out brawl, and they are happy to take those swings. A really solid flush over those hillsides. They come through late. They're waiting. They let everyone else sort out who will be the ones to take them on, and then they'll sweep them aside either way.
And you know what? They had a chance potentially to dismantle themselves if they do challenge into Team Secret, who ended up staying alive, and that could have got dicey because it was Team Secret as well as 2 other rosters who were fighting within that area. But Yangon Galactica said, let's play this slow. Let's go for the placement points and get the eliminations when it makes sense. Well, there it is, man. Game number 6 is done. Time to break down today's studio. What ended up happening?
Well, Yangon, who came in as 8th seed from survival stage, have now been able to put themselves at number 1 in the grand finals for day number 1. They've pulled the John Cena heel turn on everyone and taken that top spot. Unbelievable stuff coming in from them. Joining me, we have Maxman as well as Natura to talk about this one. Is Miramar Yangon domination here, Mr. Max?
There were so many weird fights happening up north. I think you had Team Secret fighting Thunder Talk, fighting Aura. Yangon just seen it from a distance. What the hell is that? We're just going to leapfrog it, hold them off, get a ton of eliminations, get easy access into the last circle, and get the win. If I'm not mistaken, their 2nd win today, right? They got another win on Potato Hill. So Yangon on fire, and this is a team that qualified barely through their survival stage here, making it into the finals. So we said they were surprised initially, but even more so now going into the finals.
Good control of the west side here, Nemtura.
Excellent control of the west side. They were able to, again, do what they need to do in terms of that control. They were able to fend off certain teams. They were able to eliminate others to get a really, really dominant win. I mean, 12 elimination points. That is a big game for them. So a really good way to end the day, especially.
Actually, Alpha Gaming too. I was quite critical of Alpha Gaming this match because they had a massive split to the east.
Yeah.
And we saw at one point Niptura, actually it was Nongtram Red Force kind of collapsed upon their position. But actually, for once, Alpha Gaming regrouping really quickly. Able to re-solidify their position on the eastern side of the road and then get a full reset after that fight. And because of that, they were able to get into the late game, get into the podium finish there, and get 11 eliminations to top off that podium finish. Actually, Alpha Gaming showing a little bit more team play than what I initially expected going into this event.
Yeah, for sure. They're really coming into their own. I want to make a prediction very early and say that Alpha Gaming are going to win a game tomorrow at least one, because the way they were playing that game, it's looking like they're actually ready to take those wins, right? They are controlling, they're moving together, they're not split too far. They are split a lot, but they're not split too far. They're moving in tandem with each other, and so they're actually able to make those right decisions, make those plays, and do it effectively.
We saw 4 thrives, 0 points there. I'm very confused what the game plan has been today, because of course we saw the Sanok, the hot drop didn't make a lot of sense.
Sure.
Here they sent it into, I think it was Nongshim Red Force's compound. No scouting ahead of time, just sending it, looking for a fight. I don't want to say they've given up because it's day 1, there's no reason, but there was no real thought behind it. So 4 thrives, compared to their group stage where they played so well, here they're committing to plays that don't make too much sense sometimes, so they might want to rethink how to enter it tomorrow, because as of right now, if they don't change anything, they're just going to remain at the bottom of the rankings.
Yeah, I mean, in that fight in particular, even if they wanted to go ahead and do that fight that early on, which is not always the safest idea, but sure, go for it. They were just way too focused on that one solo player. They didn't use any off angles to try and counteract any response from Nongshim Red Force, and they went too far into the building and just ended up getting completely surrounded, which is not what you want to be seeing in PUBG Mobile.
Yeah, they're ending up in a weird position when it comes to the overalls. Let's take a look at those and see how it shakes up at the very top, of course, because Yangzhong have been able to find themselves a position at the top. 67 points for number 1. What a glow up from them, stage on stage, as they have positioned themselves even nicely against second place here, Neptune. I don't find anything else.
And so consistent as well. 30 placement points to 37 elimination points. I mean, even down the board, you see some fairly sort of the same points as well, like DRX, for instance, but most of them are so completely elimination heavy. For Yangon to be so consistent there is really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, really, as you said, good surprise from Yangon, though I'm going to be critical, which is weird, because we're looking at the top teams here. They all did well, like, good job. Our circles have been so favorable to central teams in a strong compound doing very little.
For today,
for today. For me, this day 1 has not highlighted a championship caliber team. Like, for me, it's just like still in the air, so who might be winning it, because I haven't seen like a big wow performance from anyone currently.
I get what you mean. Some compounds have been favoured, for sure. Some positions in centre positions have been favoured, for sure, as these circles have bared down. Tomorrow, if we get some kind of real curveballs, that will definitely test some of these teams. Let's take a look at our 9th through 16th as well, and see what's up there. And see Falcons find themselves in 9th place right now. The good thing about this is, aside from where I would say E-Arena technically could make a huge leap, we saw them get a back-to-back chicken dinner in the survival stage, but aside from that, there's still a significant amount to play for here, considering day 1's closer than I thought it was going to be here, Natura.
It is very, very close. You're right. We've had some, I want to say some odd games, but the actual point difference is not that much at all. Everybody's been very, very even across the board, so it's going to be interesting to see, considering we have 2 more days of this, how much of that gap is going to be.
I mean, it's very important actually that we highlight how small that gap is, because let's not forget, Smash rules are in play here at PMWC, meaning if you are still close to that first place team, if you're maybe 20, 30 points away going into your last day, chances are you can catch up, you get into the Smash zone, you wrap it up, you get the win, you become PMWC champion. So actually, maintaining a small gap against the top squads is going to be very important. So even if you have a bad game, if you can get a few limbs, a few placement points, that can still keep you relevant in the conversation.
Agreed. Here are the results coming in from today. And as you mentioned, with the Smash zone being potentially in reach, right? Plus 10 points on what we have at the top. It's really not that much to actually reach for. So you want to keep up as much as possible.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to try and stay as close as possible to that top team, because if they start to create a 20, a 30-point lead, entering tomorrow, that's going to be a lead. It's going to be hard to just overtake, because if they 10 points, that's not even a win. You get in the Smash zone, and you are going to be the team that could just end the tournament at game 2 or maybe game 3. We saw it happen in PMS LSCA.
Yes.
Chances are it could happen here again at PMWC.
We have 4 or 5 teams each game, maybe getting some eliminations here and there, some placement points, and all of those then being double digits. And that's how you get those 10 points off of that game, and then who knows what could occur from there on. So our last day will be extremely, extremely exciting, to say the least, considering what could become that threshold. But one thing's for sure, what a fantastic performance from Yangon here so far for today. Can they continue it into tomorrow, or do you think that these teams are going to come back hungry for more, considering the quality of the lobby here, Natura?
I kind of think we haven't seen even the beginning from a lot of these teams.
Maybe, yeah.
For Yangon, this was a phenomenal day. They did a really, really good job. but the gap is not as significant as I'd like to see it going into day 2 because you do still have some major teams. We haven't seen the best from Alter Ego. We haven't seen the best from Alpha Gaming, for instance. Falcons still have left a lot to be desired. If they come into the fold now, they could pose a threat. I mean, there's a lot of teams we're talking about here that could do so much better tomorrow.
I want to have a question for you specifically, Nicola, right now. I know you're a big Korean teams fan. Okay, you love Korean teams, especially D+. They're not here, unfortunately. You're two major fans of.
I like South Korea.
You love South Korea, but with the way Nocturne Red Force and DRX have played today, right, and again, very favored by the circles, do you think they can maintain that going into tomorrow? Because if they have a bad day and circles are just not coming their way, I think they can fall off. What do you think?
I think they have played a little too passively for me to be confident that if the circle does not go their way or something happens, then they can still overcome that. I do think that there's a little bit more I'd like to see before I can confidently go, yeah, sure, they can do it, absolutely.
Well, Max, desk host, as I am going to distinguish, but no, you don't want to do that. You hate being the desk host.
I don't like that.
I think DRX can deal with it a little better than Nongshim Red Force,
Agreed.
right? Like, when you look at Nongshim Red Force's positions in center spots, there were some flubs, right? Whereas DRX was able to hold down things a little better, and also I do favour them a little bit more, even if it is edge play. What do you think about that, Mr. Maxman?
I agree. No, especially because the one player in particular, I think Yumbin is a really good enabler in these fights.
Yeah.
It's actually a little story point. I think some people might not know this. Yumbin began his competitive career early last year, and he's played PMWC, PMGC, and now playing back here at PMWC. Like, he has had such a strong rise to fame in PUBG Mobile Esport as a whole, and he's been doing great stuff. I do want to see a little bit more. It's a very caster, analyst thing.
I get it.
I want to see a bit more.
Because the circles have been weird today.
Exactly.
A little weird.
So I want to see tough circles for the Korean teams and seeing them just actually go for great rotates, taking control of circles and getting impressive, not even wins, just podium finishes. And then I'll be like, you know what? Korea's here to play. Maybe another team outside of D+ can actually do something globally.
Well, let's see if they pop up here in the Gadia top plays of the day and see what we have available to us. Because for the most part, yes, those central positions have been able to win outright. Doc starts things off, though, on Sandhawk, shooting everything, Neptura.
Yeah, I mean, it is something that we have expected to see from them for a while. We haven't really gotten a chance to see that just yet, but today was the start of hopefully something more from APG. For Thrives, again, some individual really good plays that we saw here, especially in the first couple of games, but I really like how they controlled this, but after that, they just did seem to kind of fall off, Max.
I'm kind of disappointed in 4 Thrives, and I really like this team to have so much potential, especially because Noki stepped up compared to PMSL CSA, but today the plays are just not up to par. We got me so what was going on there? It was Frankie with from Team Secret. We had some wild moments here today in these matches, but that was one of the games for Team Secret, where actually, just like Yangon, they were kind of a surprise team, but they've been eerily silent, if not mistaken, towards the very bottom of the leaderboards. Team Secret, one thing that was lacking in the group stage is the fragging potential. They qualified purely because they were just aiming center, trying to survive. Here, it's not going to be enough if you want to be called the absolute best team here at PMWC.
Yeah, it's something as well for Falcons, same sort of thing. It's kind of like those kinds of plays that we're seeing from them.
Yep.
Sometimes I see the vision, other times I really don't. In fact, most of the time I really don't. I'm so sorry, but that's just how it is. It is how it is, for day 1 at least.
Well, I mean, aside from the win that they got near Museum, there's not really been much. I think they're on like 32 points, including a win with some eliminations off the back of it as well. So, tough stuff. All right, we have got our Sony MVP of the day, or hero of the day, and I guess I'll ask you your predictions. We'll start with Max Man, so he can curse whoever he picks.
I can't really predict. Say Cloud from Yangon Galaxy.
Oh.
Okay.
Al-Haji.
Al-Haji,
What's that
with the
good one?
power play.
Yes.
Survival time is going to be abysmal.
His mini plays? Yeah.
However, those eliminations.
Oh yeah. Actually,
Wow.
very important now in the new formula, right? So maybe that could do a difference. We'll see.
I was going to just also do a power player and go Ragnar. I really don't know who was
Solid.
actually standing out for power, but maybe a Yangon. We will see. All right, who's it going to be? I asked the producer and he refused to tell me. It's yes, no!
Done.
All right, recount. No.
It can't be right. Max predicted it.
This never happens.
Correct.
Oh my goodness.
He did something correct.
Actually, the thing is I do want to highlight for Yangon Galacticos, it's not just one player doing well. Smile is there. Oh, we just got told Alhaji was second, by the way. He was just behind. Got you ruined. And Ragnar's third. No, he's not third.
No, we didn't get that in our ears.
I'm gonna say Cloud. One thing that I want to highlight about his play today in particular, Neptura, his utility was actually comparable to Balak, to Doc, which normally when it comes to nades, you're talking about those two players.
Yeah.
His nades were pinpoint accurate. So really, that utility play from Say Cloud was a big standout moment for me today.
Yeah, and when you talk about utility, right, that's such a controlling aspect. So those initial nades, those initial knocks are doing everything to clear the space, make way for his team. So he is the hero of the day, not only in his own eliminations, but also in what he can do for the team.
And it's so impressive when you look at this entire squad because every team made it through PMSL, like very, very competitive lobbies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Only team that made it through PMCL, the Challenger Cup, which technically, if you compare to other events, way easier lobby. And yet, coming here into PMWC and eclipsing the lobby in your day one, getting 2 chicken dinners in the finals of one of the biggest events of the year, the biggest event of the year so far, is a massive statement. Again, circles were kind of weird. We'll see if they can maintain it tomorrow. But regardless, that is a big statement that they are here for that trophy.
Yeah, it's a great statement for considering the quality of the lobby. We have ourselves the Honored Dominations as well coming in. Narvalo. I love the French.
He loves the French.
I love the French too.
This is a weird segment. But he does take number 1 alongside this. Ketch will take number 2 as well. Say Cloud with only the 2. So actually, for Narvalo and Ketch to be able to get those triples here, not too bad overall.
Yeah, I will take it. Nice little win here from Turkey with Ketch. Alhaji, of course, always going to be there for power. I'm still... Can I see another player of Alpha Gaming that's not Doc in these graphics? I'm sorry, but I want to see someone else. Top was MVP in CSA.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where was Top today?
Yeah.
You didn't do
He kept
anything.
getting eliminated like first. Kind of crazy. Not even, I think we saw like maybe 2 mini plays from him. Alhaji had more mini plays than Top, which is insane to say. But he did, that's the truth. I mean...
I just thought you were confused about me saying I love the French. Normally you're like, what's going on?
We're all confused by that.
Are you telling a joke? What's happening?
Yeah, this is a rare moment.
Oh,
It's a revelation.
Somebody
I'm going to
flipped it
realize.
quickly.
I'm going to wake up at 2 a.m. and realize like, this happened. This has been an exceptional day. He said he loves the French.
Oh, has this been your dream for this long?
Yes.
All right, well...
I've known you for like, what, since 2019?
The answer is too long.
Yeah.
All right, well... Let's round things up here at the desk and get on with our airdrop carnival. You guys can log in now and check it out because it is live. Of course, don't miss out on the final 3 days for this weekend. Log in, summon your surprise airdrop summons. Collect 2025 airdrop vouchers for your chance to win official merch, smartphone speedy partner rewards, permanent in-game items and more. Every participant is guaranteed to win. Come and join the airdrop carnival. Stop looking at me like that. And unbox your surprise. And now, actually, I'm going to get your final thoughts and see how everything's going here in Neptura because it's been a great day. We've got Yangon up at number 1, but it could all change tomorrow.
I think it will all change tomorrow, and the way that the teams have been playing in finals is completely different to how they've been playing in league stage. So for me, day 2 is going to be very, very interesting.
I'd have to agree. Day 2 is going to be very... I mean, you're going to be setting kind of the threshold for your smash zone going into day 3 at the end of tomorrow. So we're going to know what the point threshold is going to be, adding +10. So tomorrow... Because of the Smash Zone, it's going to be very important to see who's going to be at the top of these rankings.
Definitely so, definitely. Tomorrow you'll see who's going to be able to prevail, who's going to be able to push themselves into the very top spot, and also, if I can continue to survive Maxman and Neptura here on the desk tomorrow.
No.
7's all right. All right, let's head over to the stage here as Bardi is ready to go.
Welcome back to the Gadia Esports Arena. I am, of course, joined by Master Smile and Coach Marco from Yangon Galacticos. We're going to have a quick chat at the end of the day because you had a really impressive day. Let's first talk about, the survival stage. You only just made it through to the finals in 8th position, and now you're leading the charge going into day 2 of the grand finals. Tell us what you worked on between the survival stage and now, and how you implemented it for this stage now.
I'm gonna answer for it. I think the biggest mistake we found I think we are not capable of doing what we usually do, and then also we try to kind of get experience from a tournament, and then also the circle, of course, the gameplay, the mistakes, and then the communication is very much I think different in our team, and then back in the home and then play here. Because this is a big stage, as you can see, that we have some pressure on it. So we try to fix our communication first, and then we look at it, where's the gap between the players, what we can be, improve. That's the biggest thing.
Now you've got to the top of the leaderboard, of course, like Master Smile, man. Do you feel like you've got a target on your back going into day 2? Because, you know, people will start to think we need to start eliminating them from the competition so that you can't run away with it, you know? Yeah.
မမေ့တာဟိုအခုနောက်မှရောက်နေတော့ဘယ်လိုနေလဲပေါ့ဘယ်လိုထင်လဲပေါ့နောက်မှရောက်နေချင်း
I just been normal. Just normal.
ဘယ်လိုနေလဲ pressure ရှိတာ
pressure ရှိတာတော့လည်းပြော pressure ရင်းနဲ့မရှိဘူးဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်လုံးနေကြတိုင်းပဲကျွန်တော် consistent ဖြစ်အောင်သွားတယ်ဒီလောက်ပါပဲအဲ့တော့မရှိပါဘူး
So I can translate for it. What we was saying is like we have a little bit pressure before, but now we are on top of the league, and we have more confidence on it, and then we can be able to like try to be more consistent on it. Then we try to work hard, try to bring some like team play, and also of course, you know, the mindset.
There's something to be aware of as well, you know, going into the day 2 and being in the lead. You kind of got to think a little bit that people are going to be hunting you down, but, you know, you're only 8 maps away from potentially winning the PMWC. Are you feeling nervous? Like, how are you and the team feeling?
ဘယ်လိုခံစားရလဲ
ဘလို့ခံစားရလဲဆိုတော့စိတ်လှုပ်ရှားမှုတော့ဖြစ်တာပေါ့လို့ဆိုတော့ဒီ final မှာဆော့နေတာဒါလည်းပါတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အဲ့လောက်ထိကျွန်တော်စိတ်ထဲမှာဆိုကျွန်တော်လုံးချက်ရှိရပဲတော့ဝါမယ်လို့တွေးထားတယ်အဲ့လောက်ထိစိတ်လှုပ်ရှားတာဘာညာမရှိဘူးဘာလို့ဆိုတော့အာရှတယောက်တည်းလည်းစိတ်လှုပ်ရှားနေကိုတင်သားတွေလည်းသိရမလားလို့ဖြစ်သွားနိုင်တယ်အားကြောင့်လို့ပါပဲ
Okay. So what we're saying is like, if of course we're nervous, we are because we're on top of the league, and then but we try to do as much as possible, and then also like we try to because as a leader, if you got nervous, the team will be shaken. So you try to be like be strong all the time.
Just be strong. Well, we really look forward to seeing you guys in day 2 tomorrow. Congratulations on a really impressive day 1, and we hope to see you still climb that leaderboard, still stay at the top of the leaderboard, let's say. For now, day 1 is over for the grand finals. It's been an absolutely spectacular day. Tomorrow, the pressure gets dialed up that little bit more as people start to panic. People start to make plays that they may not normally would make. And things are going to start heating up here on the main stage. I bet you guys know it back at home. But thank you so much to everyone involved for putting this fantastic event on. And we'll see you tomorrow for day 2.